Recording in progress.
So, hello everyone. This is the next episode of Mahalini's Voices of the Soul, where we meet, we love to talk with remarkable people from all over the world, to listen to their life stories and also, of course, to listen what they are doing in daily life, what their passions are and what they would like to share with the world. And today's guest is Ewa Krempa, and she lives in Canada. But you are not originally from Canada, right, Ewa?
No, I was born and raised in Poland, and then we came here a few decades ago and stayed in Canada and lived here ever since.
Okay, and do you like staying in Canada?
Let's put it this way. I've made peace with it
Okay.
because there's a story attached to it.
Okay, okay. And are you returning often to Poland? Did you ever get back?
Oh, I've been to Poland a few times since we moved here. But when I first originally moved here, the journey was a little bit challenging because I didn't speak the language. So that's where the soft spot is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine. I also migrated from Suriname in South America to the Netherlands, and of course I was lucky to speak Dutch because Suriname has been colonized by the Dutch. So we had this common language, so we could understand each other. But I can imagine that it has been very hard for somebody like you who is moving to a different country, a foreign country, and doesn't know the language. And how did you manage just to get to peace with it?
Well, it took time, that's for sure. When you move from, you're close to family, and then I came from a village, so everybody like kind of knows everybody. And when all of a sudden you step into a new world like Canada, yeah, of course, part of me was very excited. First time on the plane, first time going overseas, settling. But at the same time, you get homesick,
Yeah.
and then you don't speak the language, so you really are like an alien at the beginning.
Yeah.
And because my heart was not at ease, it took me extra long time to learn the language because I was also a teenager at that time. I was, I think, 12 and a half years old when we moved here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard to cope. The first year was very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next 2, 3 years also I was polishing up my English.
Mm-hmm.
But when you not sure how to cope with emotions and the loss of what you know,
Mm-hmm.
then it was difficult for me to get through that. And honestly, it almost took 5 years. Finally, I had to tell myself, you know what? You're here to stay. You better suck it up and move on. And that's what I had to do, honestly.
Yes.
And then so you tell yourself that, but deep down, I know I never worked through those emotions properly
Mm-hmm.
until I actually got into personal development. So you can see the big gap. It was like about over 10 years, easy. So it was a long process for me. Most people will just tell you, and that's what I actually heard, just suck it up and keep going. But sometimes it's not easy. Um, so that's why I called it earlier a soft spot for me because that triggered a lot of things. And of course, sometimes when things get triggered, they spiral. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you kind of go through life because you have to, not because sometimes you enjoy it. I mean, there was moments, of course, of happiness, but I also carried that in my heart for many years, that sorrow that I never really um, was able to process. So I buried my emotions. It was easy to eventually bury those emotions than work with them because I didn't really know how at that time. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the short version of that story.
Yes, but it is, in my podcast, I like people just to share personal stuff because
Yeah,
that is the real you, right? After
yes,
your
of
business,
course.
behind your business, and
Yeah.
that makes it so very touching just to listen to people's story and yes, become real, but just be authentic, and that's the authenticity that you're sharing now with the world. And
Exactly.
is that also one of the reasons because you are the founder of Dynamic Mindset Solutions? And was that maybe a reason just to start the dynamic mindset solutions for you, your background?
That's another story. Um,
We love
when I
stories,
started,
Ewa. We love
I'm full
stories.
of stories. So what happened is, so while I moved from Poland to Canada, part of me was going through that, adjustment, learning new culture and everything. Another part of me awoken is where I began to love traveling at the same time because all of a sudden you see these beautiful world, Canada. It is a beautiful country. And then, of course, in 1996, I went back to Poland to visit. And years after that, I also went on a Europe trip. I've seen France, Germany, Luxembourg. And the more places I saw, the more I began to love the cultures, the places I visited, the people I connected with. And then it just became something a part of me. And then somewhere in my heart, I knew I wanted to help people. But at that time, I wasn't quite sure how and when. It was just kind of that thing that was there. And in 2005, I went to with World Vision Canada to El Salvador. Actually, I really wanted to go to Africa, but God had other plans. And in this book, actually, I talk about my trip, the ripple effect of impact, about my trip. And at that time, I knew I wanted to help people, seeing the communities, the people, and not only that, seeing how much people are struggling with things. I just knew there was more to it. And at the same time, many years went by, and I wanted to write a book about my travels. So many things were just kind of like there drifting. The ideas were there. I used to go to the bookstores. I used to watch all these like movies, movie people, writing the biographies. Oh, and I just wonder like, oh wow, look at those people. And I was like, one day I like to do that, be what that person that shares the story. But I just didn't know how because I was very, at the same time, misaligned with other things in my life. There was other things going on as well. And then, there was a time that came and told myself, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's where I stepped into personal development in 2001. Sorry, 2021. That was a big
It's
leap
five
there.
years ago, yeah, yeah.
But when I was married, once upon a time I was married, in 2005, no, 2006, my ex-mother-in-law told me about The Secret
Yeah.
from the popular show. And I used that book a lot to attract traveling into my life. That was the whole thing on my mind. I want to travel the world. I want to see Australia, New Zealand, all these things.
Hawaii as
And
well.
I used to have these big billboards, like billboards. That's how big they felt in my head, like posters all over my rooms of all these exotic places, Fiji, Australia. And I'm like, how in the world would I ever travel to these? But really, it wasn't how. It was just like, I love to see it. And I
Yes.
left it at that. And 5 years later, I got to live my dream. I circumnavigated around the world. I've been to over 50 countries now, and not just from that year. Every year I go somewhere, whether I just spin the globe and okay, I'm going there, or whatever it comes to my mind at that time. And I just go with the flow and I traveled. I use law of attraction, I would say, to bring that into my life.
Yeah.
But then there was part of me that was still feeling, homesick. There was other things going on as well. And I told myself, you know what? It's time to heal the heart,
Yes.
and that's where I took Bob Proctor's coaching, Tony Robbins, many other. I think I've read more books in that year than in my entire life.
Yes.
And that was a brand new journey for me. And it's like everything just opened up for me. The opportunities came to start writing in books.
Yeah.
Clients came. I started building things, I rediscover a brand new world from a
Yeah.
regular 9 to 5 job because
Yes.
I open up to new possibilities that I don't have to do what the majority people do. I can create something of my own.
Yes.
And so many things just started coming and opening, and it was just such a beautiful experience, but it was also scary as heck
Of
because I
course,
was
of course,
stepping into
yes.
something
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect,
Yeah,
but I
it's the
let it
unknown
guide me.
field. It's just jumping into the unknown field, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But it also felt very magical at that time. Aside from, working through those books, you really rediscover yourself. All those
Yes.
things you bury in your heart for so many years, all of a sudden Bob's like, yeah, you gotta work with those feelings. I'm like, what? No way. I cried, I laughed, I was mad, I did everything in during that course
Yeah.
because that's how you work with yourself. And I
Yes.
really understood the true power of personal development.
Mhm.
Not those, and people do different marketing strategies, whatever. After all this time, because we all out there is like, we want the quick fix.
Yes.
Oh, you buy the next thing, it's gonna change your world.
Mhm.
But it's actually us who has to change it.
Yes,
Nothing else
but
will change it.
that's
But
not
I
the
had
way
the
it
wrong
works,
idea
right?
about it when I first went into it. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll buy it. It'll fix my world. No, you gotta fix your own world.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
oh,
There is no quick fix. There is no
yeah,
quick fix for anything,
yeah,
It's so because personal development doesn't know quick fix. Otherwise, I always tell my clients as well, if you're longing for the quick fix, if you're coming to me just to get the magical button, I'm not the right person because it is an illusion. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to get the magical button because you are the magical button yourself.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
press that, then everything is unfolding for you, but you have to be courageous enough just to do it, right? And if you're so you also already told showed us the first one of your books, so can you share more about what you're doing, just a short introduction?
Short introduction.
Yeah,
Well,
besides being a writer, and how do you call yourself doing the dynamics mindset solution? Are you a coach, or are you what is the title that you're giving yourself?
it's funny because I went also through different, because when you first get into these things, you kind of like, oh yeah, I want to be a coach, or yeah, I'll be a mindset. And there's like a million and one of those things.
Yes.
But when you start doing these things, you really kind of mold it to what you really want to do as a person, and it becomes you. Like, I don't want to be a copycat. I don't want to, copy somebody else's work.
Mm.
But you learn from all these people. Okay, Tony Robbins, great coach, he talks about this. This person talks about that. And then I had to sit there and ask myself, what is it truly that I want to do, and in what area?
Mm.
And because of the background I came from, and everything I've touched and learned about, I said, you know what? Self mastery is what I want to do. If we can't master ourselves, there's no way you can master somebody else,
Yes.
you know?
I
And
agree.
so I went from being like a success and mindset coach. Yes, but at the same time, it's all about self mastery. So that's what I define now as, even though before it's mindset, but it's all mindset together, mindset, identity,
Yeah.
it's all self mastery.
Yes.
So that's what I do
Yes.
because I know what it takes to do the work because I had to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to show people, especially midlife, a lot of people get stuck in midlife. Either the kids
Yes.
leave, you want to change career, like myself. I would consider myself in midlife because we come, at the beginning we're little kids.
Mm.
We are shaped by our environment. And then you come to a point like I did where it's like, okay, wait a minute. What is it that I truly want? Because up until now, I went by everybody else's maybe rules, things, but who is me? Like, what
Yes.
do I truly want?
Yeah.
And that's what it was kind of like rediscovering myself all over again when I went through, the initial process.
Yes.
But when I started it, doors just naturally started opening up. Like you mentioned, I'm an author as well. And I thought I'll just do one book, and I was really happy with it. But then it came second, third one, fourth one, and this is my final one that just recently
Yes.
released
Yeah,
in
it's good. Just to hold
December.
it though, just yes, I can and I did because I would like to the power of perseverance. Just to talk about it, what was the
Sure.
reason? What was the reason that you wrote this last book? I think that it just published last year. Is
Yeah, in December. It just came out
Yes,
in
so
December.
it is 3 months old. 3 months old now. Yes, so it's quite new. Just share a little bit about it. What is the
Of
reason that
course.
you wrote this book?
The title actually, it
Yes, I
was,
can, and I did.
it was kind of like these books also through took me exactly where I was in my personal development too. From the ripple, the
The
first one was midlife awakening.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's where I woke up, and that's why I did the chapter in this one. To being a person that never gives up, no matter what, and even coming to Canada. This is the one I talk about my journey coming to Canada, how much things I, things I went through, how I got through them,
Yeah.
to being that ripple effect of impact that I want to be in the world,
Yeah. Yeah.
to yes, I can. And it's like, yes, I can, and so can you, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
we all are capable of doing so much more than sometimes we give ourselves credit. So
Yeah.
this one actually, it's called You Betcha I Can and I Did, chapter 10
Yeah.
of my book. Sorry for that. Um, and I talk about my kind of like journey throughout the whole time. Like, I always push myself. Sometimes it takes time, but I push myself because I know I want to achieve more. And sometimes we get scared, but at the same time, like I remember when I went on a cruise ship and I worked for the Navy like for 8 months, and you had to pass certain tests in order to qualify. And I tell you right now, I've never jumped off a diving board in my life. But that was one of the things. If you wanted to go and complete the final test, you had to jump off a really high diving board into the water. I never done. I had no idea what to do, how to do it, but you gotta jump. So I said, you know what? You gotta jump.
Do it. Yeah. You have to
And I
do it.
jumped.
Yeah.
But at that time, I learned something important. Also, because the more I would have lingered and thought about the jump, it would have scared me more and I would have pulled back.
Yes.
Because that's exactly what happened to other people there. Some didn't pass. But me, I said, you know what? I'm going for it. It's not like I was jumping into fire or anything. It was water. But I knew if I backed out, I would have never done it. So sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yes.
And
And
and that was
trust and trust and
in
trust,
trust.
right? Trust.
Yeah,
Trust. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I start about in that chapter about the jump. Um, Sometimes you have to trust, have faith, and this is just jump in the water. But same thing with other things in life. Like I took a big leap when I went into personal development. Nobody in my immediate circle does it. Um, Yet I'm the one who's, traveled the world, starting my own business, skydive, um, so many things. I just go and do it because life's too short. And
Yes,
I know
life
we
is
can,
too short, but could it also be that you because I recognize a lot of myself in your story, right? I'm just the only one with the business and I'm only one with doing all crazy stuff, swimming with whales and doing all crazy stuff, really swimming with whales in the ocean and being uplifted by one of them. And although I was afraid, I was so scared of the water, so all these things were happening. Is it could it also be that we both believe that we are infinite, that we have infinite possibilities?
definitely. Yeah.
Because that is that, and just I see it as my duty towards myself, just to discover, to dive into myself and discover my possibilities.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter what people are thinking, it's more okay if I feel that my soul is guiding me to do something. And just like you're saying, jumping off the dive board, so very deep into the ocean, and you've never done it, but you have to do it, you have to do it. Then, yeah, it's what is the feeling that you had after jumping off the dive board?
Well, I'll never do that again.
But
I
were you
actually not big
proud?
on.
Were you proud? Did you break
I
down?
was.
Yeah.
I definitely was because it was like kind of like, okay, if you get this done, a new experience awaits.
Yes.
And that's almost like anything, like a book. I did a book, like a collaboration book, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I did one, and then I did another one, and then maybe who knows, the next one will be a full book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually writing a children's book too. But when you take that leap for one thing, like one door opens and so many more sometimes. But if we can't always stay closed because we'll always feel like that and then life will just pass you by. And
Yes.
I don't want to be that person. Like I realize like so many people go on autopilot. They think that's the way it is. End of story.
Yeah.
And I say no.
Yes. No.
No,
And
we are here to build what we want.
yes. And what is the goal of the book? What is the goal of the book? What is what you think that will make the readers happy with?
Basically saying that we can do so much more than we give ourselves credit for.
Yes.
Yeah, and showing that possibilities are endless,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, support is important. Like, honestly, there was a time I really didn't have the support, and you kind of keep going in your own loop because the only thing you hear is your own mind. So there comes a time where it's like, you know what? I need a new group or a new community or somebody that shares my passion.
Yeah.
Because when you're with that group, you grow. Otherwise, like they say, what are your five closest friends? And whatever they do, that's what you mainly gonna end up doing. But sometimes you have to step out of that and
Yes.
try something new, like
Yes.
swimming with the whales,
Yes. Yeah.
moving to a new country.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is, I'm not saying it's not an easy, um, things are sometimes not as easy, but sometimes they have to be done.
Yes.
Like stepping out of the comfort zone, pushing you
Yes.
to do something different. I mean, nobody was born knowing everything.
Yes.
But if we always stay in a bubble,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of my life, when I'm on my deathbed, I don't want to say, oh man, look at all the things I've missed. I wish I
Yes.
tried that.
Exactly. 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 So, what is if you're talking about some tips that you would like to give, that you would leave behind for the listeners? What is what you would like to share?
Number one, life's too short.
Mm-hmm.
So have the experiences because you don't want to be regretting later that you didn't do something.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my number one thing. Um,
And what was your own golden nugget, the most important golden nugget for yourself? What is that you would like to share now too?
Nothing lasts forever. So no matter how bad or even how good something is, it'll always shift. So
Yes.
no matter how bad your situation is,
Mm-hmm.
there comes a time where something's got to give.
Yeah.
Just like we cannot always be like in that happy-go-lucky moment 24/7. At some point, something will happen to shift you into something else. So that's the
Yes.
golden thing. No matter what, nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
I remember this one Pokon I had, and this lady was just so in the moment, and she was just talking, and she was, you could tell, frustrated, and like, she's getting it out there, which is understandable. And I asked her, you know what? She said, why? I said, one day it's gonna all end. She's like, what? Yeah, when we die. She's like, oh my gosh. But she's like, thank you for getting me out of that loop. You could hear the wheel spinning. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I know sometimes things get really bad, but no, they'll also change at some point.
Yes, there is always a beginning and there is always an end, just like with this podcast,
Yeah.
like
See, good things
sharing.
must come to an end too.
Yes, this is and but I truly believe that there is a lot of nuggets that you already shared with them with the whole world, and I hope that people will enjoy and take really the real benefits of all the tips that you have been provided and of the life stories, because if you don't dare to jump into the deep, things are not going to change, right?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Yes, you did it. You can, and you did, right?
We all
So,
can. We just
yes,
have to believe it.
yes, and that's the title of your book. So, where can people reach out to you? Where can they find you? Of course, I
So
will
I do
mention
have,
your website in the
oh, yes, of
description.
course. I have my official website up and running now. So it's www.ewa
Mm-hmm.
dash Krempa, just like my last name,
Mm-hmm.
Krempa.ca. And of course, everything's also on Amazon. You just have to put in my name, and all the books that I've been a part of are also listed, and some extras that I actually took initiative
Mm-hmm.
and took my chapters and expanded them and turned them into ebooks. So they're also available if you want more insight of just my personal story, or you like the different stories from different authors, as they're always listed on the back, different authors. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's all out there. Just Google me and you'll find me everywhere.
So, folks, you just heard, just Google Ewa Krempa and you will find her everywhere. So, I thank you so much for listening, and you can, and yeah, I forgot just to introduce myself, but it's never too late just to share a little bit of myself. I'm Jane Mahalini Haridat. I'm based in the Netherlands, but I work globally. And I'm a spiritual coach, it's a spiritual coach. I'm also a powerful, a multi-dimensional medium. I'm a writer too. And I'm the host of Mahalini's Voices of the Soul. It's one of my passions. And you can also find me on Google as well, of course. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm looking forward to all your remarks and replies on this podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also to Ewa's channel. You will find all the descriptions, all the link in the description. And
Thank you so much
take
for having me, Jane. It's been an absolute pleasure.
yes, and
And we all have so much to give to this world, all of us.
yes,
Yeah,
thank you so much for being my guest.
you're
I
welcome.
really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're
Bye for
welcome.
now.